Most schools, oh, are we muted over there? Oh,
Yeah, I just turn the volume down, you know.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Most schools, when they make events here in the U.S., they usually opt to do it in restaurants or in, public, kind of like communal spaces. And we, from day one, have always done this event in the Weinberg's home every single year. And the reason why is because I think it is a real reflection of our identity as a school. We are a family. We feel like a family. The Weinbergs have shared their daughters with us, so we feel very, very connected to them. Zahava, the Weinberg's daughter, who went to Talmud Devorah, Shana and Shana by what year?
When was it?
2017, 18.
Yeah.
2017, 18, it feels like yesterday. And is in touch with us daily. She actually got married, 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, she got married. Rabbi Fix surprised her for a wedding and was Zoches. She had the privilege of getting a bracha under her chuppah, and Zahava was there on the Zoom, and I saw you go,
I know.
when they announced him to come up to give the bracha, so that was a beautiful moment. Zahava's sister, her older sister, Mrs. Pearl, is actually a teacher in Talmud Devorah, and the Weinbergs have been opening their homes to us for this event, as well as others, for how many years now? 3-4 years, at least. At least, not more.
Since our year.
Yeah.
Our Shana was the first year we did it here.
Oh wow, okay. This event specifically is extra special. I hope Mrs. Weinberg could hear me. Is she back there? No? Her amazing hospitality is surpassed only by her humility. So she's not here to get the compliments, but Mrs. Weinberg had a 48-hour notice to put together that beautiful spread that you saw. And she quite literally dropped everything and said, I love Talmud Devorah. This is, my biggest pleasure. And as she does constantly, exceeded our wildest expectations. So really, thank you, Mrs. Weinberg, whoever you are. Another reason why this event in particular is so special is because not only did Mrs. Weinberg have such short notice, but the rest of us also did as well. The truth is that I personally feel that this event was orchestrated directly from Hashem. I came here 3 weeks ago for 5 days to interview. I actually interviewed some of you personally. I went to LA, I went to New York, and then I was meant to go back to Eretz Yisrael. And when I arrived, the country shut down its borders for the first time in history, quite literally in history. It did not allow its own citizens to return, all because Hashem wanted this event to take place. And tomorrow morning, Eretz Hashem, I'm going to be boarding a flight back to Eretz Yisrael, and I feel like a small pawn in this amazing game that was really meant to bring us all into this room together. I told the girls on the Zoom back there, hi, on the Zoom. I told them that I really feel that there's a reason why every single one of you had to kind of cross paths with the other at this specific point of your journey. This is something that I've always felt about the seminary year. It is actually an amazing thought to think that some of you who are meeting here for the first time might end up as lifelong friends. You might end up at each other's weddings. You might end up, being part of each other's journey for many, many years to come. And who knows, it really might be today that would be the starting point of all of that. I'll also share with you that this trip, this interview trip, was especially bittersweet for me, and I'll tell you why. This year, of all years, we have received an overwhelming amount of applications, more than ever before in 16 years of applications to the school. And why is that bittersweet? Well, the sweet part is obvious. It was a big privilege to meet so many amazing young women such as yourselves, and to see up close the determination, the drive, the ambition, the desire. It's something that's constantly inspiring me. And at the same time, a little bitter, because knowing that there's a limit to the capacity that Talmud Devorah is able to hold. Quite literally, physically, there's a limit to the capacity. There's only so many beds. And, walking away from interviews, asking myself if this amazing young woman that I just had the privilege of speaking to for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, will end up getting a bed, quite literally. So I hope and I encourage you all to really, really take advantage and take whatever steps necessary to ensure that you will be continuing with us, into the seminary year. And I really, really hope to see you all next year in Eretz Yisrael. Let's try to zoom out for a second. Let's try to just zoom out and ask ourselves, why are you here? Okay? So I'm sure it's not for the sushi, right? Or for the amazing entertainment, right? There's a real deep reason why we're all here. So through my many travels, especially over the past few weeks, going through different airports around the world, I always have the same thought, which is that airports everywhere are built identically, right? No matter where you are, whether you're in Israel, in Chicago, in Thailand, in Brazil, right? Airports have a certain structure. There are long hallways, long corridors filled with gates. Yeah? There's 57A, 57B, right? And those gates lead to completely different destinations, which means that you could have a person going to Zimbabwe, standing shoulder to shoulder, right, with a person going to Africa. Actually, is Zimbabwe in Africa? Okay. You can have a person going to Canada, standing shoulder to shoulder with a person going to Paris. And they look exactly the same from the outside. By looking at these people, you would have no way to know where their final destination really is, right? I have a neighbor, a very chashuv neighbor back in Israel, Rebbetzin Tarshish, who told me that she once counted the steps between the gates, and generally speaking, in no airport that she's been to was in more than 30 steps separating two gates in the airport, right? Now imagine if a person were to enter through a gate leading to Thailand when they really intended to go to Brazil, right? And halfway through the flight, this practically can't really happen because they actually check your boarding pass. But just, bear with me for a second. Halfway through the flight, an announcement comes on saying, ladies and gentlemen, please buckle your seatbelts. We are about to land in Thailand, right? Now this person realizes, oh, wait a second. I walked through the wrong gate because I wanted to go to Brazil. But wait, no worries, right? Because there are only 30 steps separating each gate. So he gets up in the middle of the aisle and walks backwards 30 steps. That's laughable. Because we all understand that once you embarked on that journey, is it impossible to turn back around? It's not impossible, but it's a lot of work. Because you have to go back to where? To the gate. There are certain moments in your life that are these gates at the airport moments. Certain crossroad moments that allow you the opportunity to choose your final destination, to choose where it is that you want to end up. And this time in your life is one of those moments, one of those gates at the airport moments. Rabbi Orlovsky was once speaking to a group of young men as they were about to start the process of dating for marriage, or as we call it, shidduchim. And he told them that one of the most elementary steps in choosing a spouse, right, making sure you're compatible with someone, is to make sure that you have common goals in life. Problem is that most people never actually stop to ask themselves what their goals in life are. Does anyone here have any goals in life? One of the guys raises his hand all confidently and says, sure, I have a goal. I want to be a dentist. So the rabbi says, no, that's not your goal in life. Anybody else? Rabbi, what do you mean? You're going to tell me what my goal in life is? I've wanted to be a dentist since I'm a child. My father's a dentist. My grandfather's a dentist. My goal in life is to be a dentist. So Rabbi Orlovsky tells him, it's not your goal and I'll prove it to you. Okay? It's after 120 and you moved on to bigger and better. And you get to kind of hover around as they're writing your eulogy. And it sounds a little something like this. He was a dentist. He cured many impacted molars, which everybody knows are the hardest to reach. He was able to remove plaque from the very sensitive gum tissue around the inside. And the guy's like, okay, I get the point, Rabbi. Very fun. He's like, wait. I'm getting to the best part. Your tombstone is a giant tooth. And on it says, here lies a dentist. He just filled his last cavity. The guy's like, okay, Rabbi, I get the point, fine. Dentistry is not my goal in life. Wonderful. First step is realizing you have a problem. So what is your goal in life? What do you mean? I have plenty of goals. Okay, name one. One? I got so many. Okay, I only need one. I want to do all kinds of stuff. And we laugh. But the truth is that most of us spend our lives doing all kinds of stuff. Things that often have little or nothing to do with what our final picture really is. I want to tell you a very important principle for life. This is something that drives probably my every decision on the day-to-day. And those of you who are alumni in this room have heard me say this so many times before. Most people know what they want. Some people even know how they plan to get it. But select few ever ask themselves why. Why do you want that? The difference between those who do and those who don't, those who succeed and those who fail, lies in that very question. What's your why? What's your driving force? So I don't know many of you personally yet. Some of you I've had the pleasure and the honor of meeting. Some of you I'm excited to have that opportunity. But I can tell you one thing without knowing anything about you that probably applies to every single person in this room and every single person on the Zoom back home. And that is that you're here because you want more. More. You're here because you want more. And you're designed to want more. You're wired to want more. There's an amazing experiment. You can find different versions of this on YouTube and all kinds of places, called the marshmallow experiment. Anyone here ever heard of this before? Raise your hand if you heard of the marshmallow experiment. Okay. AP Psych. You see who's right? Great. The marshmallow experiment is a famous experiment where they took a group of children, ages, I believe it was 4 to 6, okay? And they put them in a room in front of a plate with one marshmallow, right? And they told the kids, you want the marshmallow? And the kid's like, yeah. And he said, wait, in the other room, I have a bag full of marshmallows. And I am gonna go and bring you a second one. Do you want 2 marshmallows? Now ladies, every kid knows the answer. What's better than 1 marshmallow? 2 marshmallows, right? So the kid's like, yeah, 2 marshmallows. And they tell him, okay, if you wait here and, don't eat that first marshmallow, when I come back, you'll have 2. But if you eat this one, that's all you're gonna get. And then they videoed these children and watched their responses as they were waiting for that second marshmallow to arrive. And it's unbelievable. Okay, one kid is like sniffing the marshmallow and putting it down, and flicking the marshmallow and putting it down, and punching it and pinching it, and putting it down. Another kid takes the entire chair, moves it to the side, and doesn't even look. Right? One kid, as they're explaining the experiment, is already shoving that first marshmallow down. So what? Right? And then they follow this group of children through, I believe it was, maybe 10, 15 years, and they saw the most incredible thing. They saw that there was an undeniable correlation between the way they dealt with this experiment and their success later in life. Their success in academics, in sports, even in relationships, right? So I watched this experiment together with my sister who is truth-seeking and worldly, but lives a very different life than mine. And as we finished watching it, we both kind of turned to each other at the same time and said, wow, what a kid. That kid was for sure the most successful one. She said, which one do you mean? I said, well, which one do you mean? So she said, obviously, it's the one that while they were explaining the experiment was already eating the first marshmallow. I said, what? And she said like this. She said, that's a kid that knows what he wants and is not afraid to go for it. That's a kid that lived in the moment. That's a kid that follows his gut. And I realized that we live in a world that begs us to settle for that first marshmallow. Right? Just do it. YOLO. Yeah? But ladies, every kid knows the answer. What's better than 1 marshmallow? 2 marshmallows. Tomer Devorah is about the why. It's about the fact that we know, that you know, that there's a second marshmallow for you out there. There's a bigger picture than just the stuff that's placed in front of you. It's about creating a life that's dedicated and devoted to that picture, that big picture that you have for yourself. And if this wasn't enough to bring it home, We're gonna try to make it a little more personal. Are you ready? Okay, I'm trying to think who I can pick on over here. I'm trying to see whose face says not me, right? Okay, yeah. What's your name? Yeah, you're
Leah.
Leah. Okay, Leah. Where are you from, Leah?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay, you want to embarrass her publicly on the Zoom?
Sure.
Hi, everybody. Wait, is the video on?
Yeah.
Okay, so that looked off. Okay, Leah. Leah from Brooklyn. Very exotic, small Jewish community. I think I heard of it. Okay, amazing. So, Leah, what's your favorite food?
Hard question.
Hard question?
Pizza.
Pizza. Good choice. That's mine too. Okay, is pizza your real ultimate favorite food? Like the type of food you can eat breakfast, lunch, and supper? No? Okay, so let's think of something that you really love. Are you not like a foodie?
No, I love food. I just love all.
What?
I just love all.
You just love all food. Okay, how about chocolate?
Cinnamon danishes.
What?
Cinnamon danishes.
Cinnamon danishes. That was my supper last night. I had cinnabon. Okay, cinnamon danishes. What kind do you like? Do you like them soft? Do you like them
Yeah, the hot, gooey.
hot, gooey, soft cinnamon danishes? Cream cheese frosting or no? Yeah, cream cheese frosting. You know, in cinnabon, they actually put caramel pretzel crunch top. You ever tried that before?
I didn't. That sounds amazing.
It is. It's even more amazing than it sounds. Okay, so let me ask you this. So you're from Brooklyn. You go to what school? Yotzer Or. Oh, right. We had that conversation. Okay, Yotzer Or. So you just, finished a full day of school. You know, you left in the morning when it was still dark out. You came back at night when it's dark again. You lost your lunch along the way, so you really didn't eat anything the whole day. It's raining out. You step in the puddle. Your socks are wet. You're starving. You're cranky. You come home. You throw your backpack aside, and on the kitchen table is a soft, warm, fresh, gooey cinnamon bun with cream cheese frosting and crunchy caramel topping on top. At that moment, on a scale of 1 to 10, how amazing is that cinnamon bun?
Absolutely 10.
An absolute 10. One might say 11, right? Am I right? We can break the rules. It's our rules. Okay, so 11. You hear that, ladies? Okay. So now Leah, right? Let me ask you this. It's after 18, 20, 22, 24 years of living, and you finally meet him. That one, that special one that I know that you don't know that I know, that you've been kind of daydreaming about since you were a little girl. You know, that special someone that in your tefillos you kind of, wonder about. The one that, on long bus rides with your earphones listening to music, you kind of think about, right? And when you met him, that very minute, right away, your gut told you, this is the one. He understands you like no one's understood you before. He adores you. You can do no wrong in his eyes. Every word you say, he just finishes your sentences, right? And not only does he adore you, Leah, his mother adores you. And she tells you, Leah, we are so thrilled to have you as our future daughter-in-law that we want to fly you and 27 of your closest friends to Israel to have the wedding of your dreams. And you're standing there in your dream dress on the rooftop of the David Citadel overlooking 2,000 years of Jewish history. Shweki himself is there serenading you, right? And as you begin to walk down the aisle, you kind of lock eyes. And when you see him, everything else fades away. Because at that moment, you're filled with the sense of ultimate potential. At that moment, you're filled with a sense of the first day of the rest of your life. All you can see is your future. And at that very moment, I grab the mic away from Shweki and I say, everybody stop, Leah! In my trunk, there's a hot, gooey cinnamon bun with cream cheese frosting and caramel crunch with your name on it. At that moment, Leah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is that Danish?
-1.
-1. Lise, what happened to the cinnamon bun? What happened to how did it go from an 11 to a -1? What happened there? I'll tell you what happened. Nothing happened to the cinnamon bun. What happens is that you are now exposed to an ultimate level of pleasure. You are now exposed to a higher level of pleasure. one that makes everything else kind of melt away, all the stuff. Ladies, Tomer Devorah is about being real. It's about getting real with yourself, with your life. It's about discovering an ultimate level of pleasure that makes everything else fade away. How do we do that? What do we do to get there? That you've already found out. If we're sitting here in this room, it's because you took the time to find out all the details, but it's not about the details. It's about the why. It's about that big picture that you have for yourself. And I want to tell you what our why is. Our why is that journey towards your why, towards that bigger picture, is the one that you won't have to go on alone. You'll go on that journey with each other. You'll go on that journey with us. Mirza Hashem, I believe strongly from experience that this is not a 10-month journey or a 1.5-year journey, Rachel Stern, right? Or a 4-year journey. This is a journey for at least the next 102 years. Quick math, right? And hopefully even many generations. There are so many things that I want to share with you, and it's a long night. Some of you have a long drive home. I want to tell you that we intend to have a group chat very soon of the registered students, the official Tomer Devorah 2021-2022 Mishpacha. It's really unbelievable as I'm saying these words. Many of you already have my contact saved on your phone. If you don't have my contact saved, please make sure that you get my contact saved on your phone before you leave here so that you could get broadcasts and you could see